I mean, why would Angel Reese want Caitlin Clark in this new league? If Caitlin Clark is there, the spotlight of Angel Reese...
Angel Reese loses it after Caitlin Clark lands that massive deal with Unrivaled, a newcomer fumbling its way into women's basketball. Honestly, Unrivaled seems to have mastered the art of cluelessness. They went ahead and signed every player imaginable except the one true star who could actually make them relevant.
And in the same vein, they were also liking negative comments about Caitlin Clark from the official Unrivaled basketball Instagram account, like during the season. So all of these things were just not a good look.
Yeah, they stacked the roster with Reese A.A. Wilson and a bunch of other players, thinking this random mix would somehow click. What were they thinking? Eventually, someone there seemed to have a moment of clarity and realized, oh, of course, Caitlin Clark is the only real chance they have at even approaching success.
Fortunately, it's a star that most people...
So they've tossed huge sums of money at her, while Reese watches the rising superstar claim the reward, practically seething. Unrivaled has finally come to grips with the fact that without Clark, they're nothing but a desperate, money-burning sideshow. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
They're offering Caitlin Clark $1 million for 2 months of her services. $1 million to carry a new basketball league from January to March.
This so-called league actually believes it can revolutionize women's basketball, but without Caitlin Clark, it's just a forgettable, third-rate organization. They're grasping for a spark to bring it to life, but when your entire roster is made up of, who's that, players, there's very little chance of igniting the sports world.
Going to feature the 30 best pretend basketball players, with the vast majority of them being anonymous. Now, they do have one star committed to play.
TNT's investment here is absolutely wild. A 6-year, $100 million deal, all hinging on hitting viewership targets. Do they even realize what they've signed up for? Without a superstar like Clark, those TV ratings are bound to be ice cold, lower than Antarctica. Who's going to tune in for a roster full of unknowns? Essentially, they've written a massive check for a league with no real foundation, just hoping Clark might be the magic fix. Clark is a powerhouse, and Unrivaled knows she's a guaranteed draw. Put her name on the roster, and ticket lines would stretch around the block. She fills arenas like every game is a playoff, with venues even needing to expand seating to accommodate her crowds. But does Unrivaled have that kind of influence without her? Their delay isn't just clueless, it's astounding.
It needs Caitlin Clark, and they are preparing to offer her a massive deal. But
insulting the fact that Clark is the most marketable player in women's basketball, Unrivaled acted like they could keep her waiting for 3 whole months. They threw out 26 other names, thinking they'd gain any momentum without the game's biggest star. It's like trying to release a blockbuster without a lead actor. Now, they're in full-blown panic mode, scrambling to mask months of neglect with a desperate Hail Mary that screams, "Please save us." Caitlin, their last-minute desperation exposes just how badly they've mismanaged the league from day one. And the PR team? If there were an award for the most self-sabotaging social media strategy in sports history, Unrivaled would take it, engaging with negative comments about Clark instead of supporting her.
Clark doesn't need any money. She has plenty of endorsement deals. I think she is totally fine. And I think for her body and for her mental health, it might not be.
Their official channels even went out of their way to promote posts that undermine the very player they're now begging to sign. It's as if they couldn't decide whether they wanted her on board or out of the picture. But bad-mouthing the superstar you desperately need is hardly a winning strategy. The only thing they've shown is how completely out of touch they are with what fans actually want. If you want to see how to properly court a star like Caitlin Clark, just look at Ice Cube and his Big 3 league. Cube recognized her value from day one. No hesitation, no games, just a clear, substantial offer. He didn't waste time with mediocre options, and he certainly didn't play petty games on social media. He put his money where his mouth is, offering Clark more than some ex-NBA players make, showing Unrivaled exactly how it's done. But Unrivaled? They're too busy tripping over their own mistakes to notice how far behind they are compared to Big Three's approach. Their desperate scramble looks completely amateur. Fast forward to today, and Unrivaled is throwing money around like confetti at a parade, offering
should join Unrivaled. I'm not so sure. I think that the money needs to be high. It needs to be in the millions. It needs to be at least what Cube offered her for the big.
This last-minute cash grab isn't really about valuing Clark's talent. It's about trying to cover up their massive mistake. It's as if they suddenly realized they're lost without her. So now, they're tossing whatever money they can at her, hoping she'll bite. But if they genuinely respected her, they would have approached her months ago, not waited until every other plan had failed.
I thought WNBA players didn't like Caitlin Clark.
Even with a huge pile of cash on the table, Clark has every reason to pass. Unrivaled is clearly a league with no solid foundation, no track record, and frankly, no direction. Signing with them risks dragging her name down to their level, a shaky startup with zero credibility. She has a reputation to protect, and tying herself to this mess is a risk she doesn't need. Why associate her brand with a league that could collapse before the season's even over? The real question isn't whether Clark should take the deal, it's whether Unrivaled even deserves her.
Playing in this league, Dejanay Carrington is playing in this league. Obviously, I feel like that's the biggest name where there is some sort of tension. Whether there's tension between Caitlin and Dejanay, we don't know, but there is still that.
To truly appreciate the comedy of Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlin Clark's flashy $1 million deal with Unrivaled, just look at the meltdown. Reese, who's always vocal about her modest $75,000 WNBA salary and used to treat Clark like just another player in the crowd, now radiates envy as Clark secures a $1 million contract. Suddenly, Reese can't contain herself. It's arguably one of the most transparent displays of jealousy in basketball history.
This is your opportunity to see if you can survive without her. This is your opportunity to see if Angel Reese is enough of a draw to carry a new league. I think the answer's no.
For months, Reese downplayed Clark's impact, probably thinking she could manage just fine without her. But now, with Clark landing that massive Unrivaled deal, Reese has done a complete 180. While we don't need Clark's narrative overshadowed, it's almost comical watching Reese witness Clark being courted with perks and a paycheck that would make any WNBA player do a double take. The same person who once rolled her eyes at Clark now has to admit, ironically and begrudgingly, that Clark's market power is on a completely different level.
Cube offered Caitlin before the Big Three season began. I commend Ice Cube because you have to think.
And then there's the huge pay gap with players like A.A. Wilson, who's probably feeling the sting of being left behind. Sure, Wilson might publicly cheer Unrivaled's move to sign Clark, but let's be honest, she can't be thrilled watching Clark jump ahead in endorsement deals. Both Wilson and Reese are WNBA household names, but that doesn't change the fact that they're nowhere near Clark's level of earnings. Despite their high-profile play and media presence, they can't touch deals like Clark's with Nike, State Farm, and more. The money isn't just income. It's a clear sign of Clark's influence, the kind Reese can only dream of. Seeing Clark plastered across ad campaigns has to sting, especially when their own financial struggles are on display. The spotlight shining on Clark only magnifies the gap, and Reese's frustration is plain for everyone to see in her public reactions.
Potential problem. Caitlin Clark already has money. She signed a $28 million deal with Nike. She's got endorsed.
But let's not forget, Clark's game is built for traditional 5-on-5 basketball. She's a master of the full-court game, not some pickup style, 3-on-3 format. Toss her into Unrivaled's little experiment, and you have to wonder if it will even succeed. Critics are already questioning whether 3-on-3 can sustain interest, which means Unrivaled is betting their entire league on Clark's shoulders. They'd better hope she can carry them, because without her, they're on a fast track to irrelevance. Then there's her earning power. Caitlin sits on a $28 million Nike endorsement, plus deals with brands like State Farm. She's the kind of athlete brands actually compete over, and her marketability is almost unheard of in women's sports. And Unrivaled is just desperate to ride her coattails, imagining a boost to their profile and a shot at competing in the big leagues. But here's the harsh reality. Without Clark, they're nothing more than an empty, wishful project in an already crowded sports world. They're banking on her golden touch to make people care, as if her star power could magically lift their poorly built roster. Think about it. Unrivaled has poured all their hope and every dollar into convincing Caitlyn to join. They have no fallback, no alternatives, no plan B. If Clark doesn't bite, they're done. Her star power, fan base, and marketing appeal are all things Unrivaled has never had and can't replicate. Their dependence on her is so extreme, it's almost embarrassing.